Eli Manning has been announced that he's back as the starter. Giants are going to go back to Eli Manning. Adam Schefter, according to Jordan Renan, who I believe is a reporter covering the Giants. Steve Mariucci, my compadre on NFL Game Day morning, and he'll be there with all of us in Atlanta for a big Saints-Falcons game to kick off Week 14 back here on the show. Steve, what do you think of the McAdoo news?
Well, a couple things, Rich. I thought we might talk about cookies for the first 5 minutes because those Oreos, you got all kinds of flavors, and I like them all. That's why Baskin-Robbins has 31 flavors. All right, guys? Variety is spice of life. And then the other thing is, Wirtz told me last night that I'm not going to Atlanta with you guys. There was a scheduling snafu or some darn thing. I went, what? I wanted to see that new stadium and sit next to Rich. And he says, no, he's got a different thing on us. Anyway, it's all out of whack. I'll be watching you from home again.
Okay.
Darn it.
Boy, it sounds like you got Izzo voice, Steve. You okay?
It's a Uper thing. Come, right around this time of year, right? So, yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
All right, so here we go with Eli starting again. Oh, my God, what a mess. What a mess. And you know what? But this isn't like the first mess. It's not a most recent mess either, because I thought it was messy when they got rid of a Hall of Fame coach in Tom Coughlin. Think about it. 2 years ago, and then really eventually Tom Coughlin's going to be in the Hall of Fame, having won 2 Super Bowls over there and all of that. And he's doing his magic down in Jacksonville. And then you hire somebody from his staff. What does that tell you? What does that mean? If you want to change, you go outside. You don't hire somebody from his staff with no experience. And then Ben McAdoo starts off 11-5 and goes to the playoffs, and everybody goes, okay, all right, we have a new hire here that gets it. And then wow. And Jerry Reese gets let go today, and he's had some success. It doesn't matter how he got there. Everybody climbs a ladder in some way, shape, or form, and under his watch, they've been successful. Not recently. Their roster's a little out of whack. They spent $200 million on defense. That didn't show up this year. So it's always a set of circumstances as well. The Giants' offense is second worst in the league, and it's not because Ben McAdoo's an idiot. It's because they got 4 receivers hurt in a series of a short period of time and didn't get them all back. And offensive line issues, the whole thing, and it's never any one person's fault. It's a culmination of things. But I think this was the straw that broke the camel's back. It was the mishandling of a great icon in Eli, and so they just can't deal with it anymore.
So why do you think, if you could give your best guess, I said this on the air yesterday when we had this conversation, right, around 11:15 Eastern time. I'm like, there's still 4 hours to put Eli in the game. It's not as if there's a game plan that's completely different, that Eli wasn't sitting there for all of it, that he wasn't running scout team for some of it, that if you're planning on firing the coach over this, or you feel that the coach should be considered untenable because you want to put Eli back in at this late stage in the game, then why not just do it and that's it? And then so the guy who has to stand there on the sidelines feeling like the world's crashing down is the guy that you're firing the next day anyway, not your all-time great quarterback. What happened, do you think? Can you best guess it?
It's hard to backtrack once a coach makes a statement publicly. You don't want to be a liar. And Ben McAdoo had to go with his plan. He said he was going to start Geno, and Eli was going to be the backup, and he was going to wear sunglasses, and that was it. And that's what they did. And the camera was on Eli the whole game.
I know.
I just felt bad for him. And Eli's such a stud. I mean, he handled that. He takes the high road. He's had 210 games that he started in a row, but he's had 1,000 press conferences that he's been an absolute pro and an absolute New York football giant to the max. I've never seen him throw anybody under the bus. He's been perfect, and so unfortunate. Now he's got to go play. He's got to go play again, and I don't know how you do that. It's the fans are certainly going to cheer him like crazy.
Yeah, I know. The Cowboys are like, you sure you don't want to start Davis Webb or Geno one more week, everybody?
I know it. That's for sure, because who knows? I mean, when sometimes when you shake a team up like this at midstream, the players wake up and it's like, all right, I'm next if we don't pick it up here.
Right.
And this team might really show up. Who knows?
All right, Steve Mariucci joining me here for a few more minutes and Mondays with Moochie here on the Rich Eisen Show. Let me just quickly run through it for you because I know you're not going to coach the Giants. I pounded the table. I said David Shaw will be the perfect guy. What do you think?
Ooh.
Perfect.
And we all like David Shaw, and we're all friends with David Shaw, and he's really good. He's really solid, not just as a coach, but as a guy and a family man. All of that. I'm not sure if New York's his cup of tea. He really likes it out here, Rich. He really, really likes it here at Stanford, and they're paying him good, and he's in control of who he recruits. And it's like Nick Saban told me, because I asked Nick, "You can never go back to the NFL?" He goes, "Mooch." He says, "In the NFL, you take turns drafting. You take turns with 32 teams drafting, so you get one first rounder a year. That's it." He says, "When I recruit, I can get as many as I can get. I can get 3, 4, 5 maybe." That's what Nick said. And he says, and so that's how, that's creates some stability, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And so David Shaw's got a rolling at Stanford right now, and I don't know if he would do that. Now, if I were a general manager somewhere in the league, I'm calling David Shaw. There's no doubt I'm calling David Shaw to find out what his interest is, and because he's he's got some experience with the NFL, and he gets it. He comes from a coaching lineage.
All right, then let's hit a couple other items while I still have you here. What do you take out of the Sunday night win for Seattle over Philadelphia for either team? What do you take out of that, Steve?
Well, you know what? I was as surprised as most people. We all thought, did we not? Didn't we all thought that the Philadelphia Eagles were going to play their game like they've been and go in and steal one right in front of the 12s? But you know what? They couldn't tackle Russell Wilson. They couldn't get him. And, Fran Tarkington, Rich, played before you were born, but I remember that guy when I was a kid, and we're in my team, the Packers, are chasing that guy around. He couldn't catch him. He's always running around, and that's Russell Wilson. You can't tackle that guy. And if they don't have Russell Wilson, forget about it in Seattle. I mean, with all due respect, Pete's staff and John Snyder and the rest of that team, terrific. But Russell Wilson's magic, and he did his thing. And Carson Wentz's fumble didn't help going in, and some of those things. But this just tightened it up in the NFC. It really did.
Yeah. When you say, didn't we all think that? I'll give you the answer. No, we did not all think that. Only one of us thought.
Lone Wolf. You didn't.
How?
You didn't. You did?
Oh, yeah, Steve.
I'm drawing a blank on that one, Rich.
Yeah, why would that happen? Because it happened less than 24 hours ago, Steve. Why would you draw a blank on that? Come on now. I was sitting next to you howling.
Memory.
Mm-hmm. No, look, here's what I think. It's just that's a tough place to win in December at night.
It is.
Okay, and Wentz, though, I mean, that throw when he was wrapped up without using his legs and his upper body and arm, what was that, 45 yards?
In the air, yeah. It ended up being a 51-yard completion.
Yeah, I get tired driving that far. I mean,
come on.
I was watching the game and enjoying it because, I did a little thing. Remember, Mini Mooch yesterday was on those two guys running around making plays like that, right?
Uh-huh.
And it's just a thrill to watch those kids play. And they're unconventional. They're athletes. They're running around like crazy, man. Forget about all the fundamentals. You just find a way to make a play. And both of those guys were going back and forth, and it was just so entertaining. I love watching that stuff.
What'd you think of Brady barking at McDaniels like he was Bill O'Brien on a good day?
We've seen that, right, with Bill O'Brien, remember?
Right. Yeah. What'd you think of that?
Yeah, he can get a little snippy sometimes. I love that edge he's got. And have you learned anything about it today, what they were talking about?
Well, here's the thing, is that if another quarterback does it, we're going nutty over this, right, Steve? I mean, Big Ben's doing this with even – you can't even just say, well, he's won X, Y, and Z. I mean, Big Ben is a two-time Super Bowl champion. He does this with Todd Haley tonight on Monday Night Football. It's all nuts on shows like this the next day, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's true. Maybe it's the perception – or the image that Tom Brady has, not because he's from Michigan, but because he's a good guy and he's got a good disposition and he's a likable character, and you see him go cuckoo like that on the sidelines, you must wonder, okay, because Josh and Bill O'Brien, they coach hard, all right, and so sometimes maybe they hit a nerve. And that's probably what happened. And can you imagine if they were losing the game? I mean, they were winning this game. But anyway, that happens once in a while. There's so much emotion down there. Once in a while, if you do hit a nerve, it's like, wow, you just fire back.
All right, Mooch, get a lozenge. I wish I would say I'll see you in Atlanta,
really,
but I guess
I was looking forward to this.
I know because it's the.
I hope Wirtz is listening right now. Wirtz, I wanted to go to Atlanta.
I know
right?
because it was Chick-fil-A night. That's why. You wanted the Chick-fil-A.
Mooch, you should just go anyway.
Yeah.
He's not just
go rogue and show up. Yeah.
Wendy, I got a flight and a hotel, and I just show up and crash your production meeting.
They're not going to kick you out, Mooch.
Oh, I won't be at the production meeting, Steve. I'll be doing this show.
Maybe I'll come on the show and do another Mondays with Mooch on Thursday.
Would you do that?
Now we're talking.
No, let's do that. You know what? Heck with work. We do what we want to do.
Take care of yourself, Mooch. We'll chat soon.
All right, see you guys.
You got it, Steve Mariucci.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.